Hello there, this is Crystal Racing with the first race of the 2025 BTCC season at Donington Park. Should be a live feed, live timing, that's what I'm looking for. Planned start time is in, it's in 8 minutes time. Hope you're doing well this morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Evening, if you are on the other side of the world in I don't know, East Asia or Thailand or Australia. I think I need to look at the drivers. Jake Hill is the reigning champion. Going for Laser Motors Racing with MP Motorsport. 20 wins, 59 podiums, 14 fastest laps. Only 3 pole positions in his career. Driving a BMW 330i. Of course, last year was his first ever championship win at the age of 30. Gonna look at who else is on the grid. Tom Chilton, veteran of the series. Darrell De Leon. I think Tom Chilton is going to be one of the most successful drivers to never win a championship in the BTCC. 16 wins in, 500 races. And he's driving for Team Virtue's Hyundai i30N. And he made his debut all the way back at Brands Hatch 23 years ago. Stephen Jenny, Ronan Pearson, Ian Furt, Dexter Patterson, Chris Miley, Dan Camish is starting on pole position, Nick Hamilton, brother of you know who, Dan Roadbottom, Adam Morgan, Aaron Taylor-Smith, Gordon Shedden, Josh Cook, Sam Osborne, Tom Ingram. He won the 2022 Drivers' Championship, 33 wins in, oh my God, 1 win in 10, that's pretty good at his all. He's also driving with Team Virtue in the Hyundai, having driven for Toyota for a lot of his career. Mikey Double, never heard of him. Max Hall, Charles Rainford, Ashley Sutton, Napa Racing, 42 wins in 265 races. With a Ford Focus, he's driving a Ford Focus T. And he's a 4-time champion at this level. Probably the best driver on the grid. I've said it before many times. I think Ashley Sutton is probably the best pound-for-pound driver at this level. Michael Crees, James Dolan, Dan Lloyd, I beg your pardon. And of course we've got the veteran, Gordon Shedden. 52 wins in 400 odd races. And he's a 3-time champion, and he's now 46 years old, driving a Toyota Corolla GR Sport for the Gazoo team. Sam there, only 0 wins in 176 races. That's not great. he'll be I don't know where everyone starts, but Sam Osborne is going to be looking for his debut win. Josh Cook, 20 wins in nearly 300 races, but he's never won the championship, driving for One Motorsport in the Honda Civic. Adam Morgan, 11 wins in nearly 400 races, driving a Hyundai for Team Virtue. My God, Team Virtue are a monopoly of the best drivers on the grid. Dan Rowbottom just winning twice in 150 races. Paul Sitter Damage driving a Ford Focus for Napa Racing. And he's got 13 wins in 177 races. I think he used to, he won back-to-back championships in the Porsche Carrera Cup. But he still hasn't won a championship in the BTCC. Got Aidan Moffat, only 5 wins in 330 races. Driving a BMW. Darrell De Leon, only 20 years old. 0 wins in 45 races, driving a Seat Cupra Leon for Team WSR. And he only made his debut 2 years ago, so he's one for the future. Apologies if I can't see anyone in the chat. 18 laps here at Donington Park. I presume we are at the short national circuit version of the track. And it will be a quick 25-minute race, unlike the DTM event, which was obviously 1 hour long plus a final lap added on. And it's pretty nice sunny weather here in Leicestershire / Derbyshire / Nottinghamshire, depending on where you classify Castle Donington. Look at that, it's an all Napa front row with the Ford Focusers leading us off away. Okay. Okay. So I'm still waiting for the start of the race as they are doing their warm-up lap for the start of the race. God, there's so many drivers I've never seen in my life making their debut today. There's a guy named Smiley Dolan. There's 24 cars starting today. And everyone, I presume, is starting on medium compound tyres, so it's a grid order there. Oh, we've got off on the way. Oh, the two Ford Focuses are really close. It looks like Camish holds on to the lead ahead of Sutton. Ash Sutton's leading, actually. That was a big blooper by me, but through the crater curves now. Sutton, Camish, Ingram, Rowbottom, Chilton is your top 5. Oh, wait. And we're starting that too with, of course, the Ford Focuses swapping positions up the grid. And the biggest drivers look like it's Rainford, De Leon, and Mulford down the order. Mofford, sorry. And that's Ronan Pearson getting a penalty. Apparently grid slot in violation for Pearson, who's in 6th place as I speak. Ronan Pearson. And of course, just so you know, they are using hybrid boosters on their car, so and yes, that red mark is a penalty for Pearson, as you can see on your screen. Camish is using his boost. And just so you know, there are no mandatory pit stops in British touring car racing. Oh, we got a bit of barging at the back there. Osborne collides with. Oh, and two cars take the shortcut at the final chicane. I wonder if there's going to be a penalty there for some drivers. Chris Smiley and Daniel Lloyd getting whacked off. Josh Cork, Hill battling for position for 7th. And Josh Hill takes 7th place. But Cork takes the inside line in this Honda. And it looks like Cook will take 7th place. Great move, great overtaking there. Oh my god, BMWs don't have a lot of horsepower, weirdly. And Pearson, who's on a penalty, is up to 5th, having overtaken Chilton. I think looks like one of the Ford Focusers shoved off Dan Lloyd and Gordon Shedden and the last chicane in the replay. Oh, black and white flag for car number 52 for track limits. That's got to be Shedden yet. And Moffat and De Leon continue their rise through the order, now up to 30th and 14th. Whilst Dorlin and Creaser, well, they've taken a huge tumble down the order. And the leaders will start lap 7. Now Morgan takes 16th place off Lloyd. God, this boost business is confusing me. Oh, Toppington takes a bit of grass at the trainer curves. He's actually closing in on the 2 leading Napa Fords up front. Oh, someone's gone off the road. I can see a bit of dust somewhere coming up the gravel. What's going on? Is someone got a broken bumper? Oh, hello there, John. Yeah, I'm doing. My God, so many touring car and GT series are doing their first race of the year at the same weekend because obviously there's no F1, there's no MotoGP. So I suppose because it's a good time of year to like get through the calendar slot, they all want a piece of attention wherever they are in the world. Oh, and Ingram's overtaken Camish for second. Big move there. And Camish is actually struggling despite having a boost available. Ingram is silently waiting like a Czech spy. Oh, that is opportunistic, like a cat by Tom Ingram in his Hyundai i30N. And that's Stephen Jenny off the road. Don't know what's happened to his car. My God, the BMWs are really struggling this season. Oh, and Gordon Shedden has got a bit of his side near his mirror broken. Bit of bodywork flapping off his Toyota Corolla. That is gonna really slow him down around the corners and down a straight. And Leon is really working up his way up this order. He's now in 11th place. Impressive driving by the young, by a young 20-year-old who was born in Ireland but has Filipino ancestry, from what I saw from his biography earlier on. How many more laps have we got? We've got another 8 laps to go, folks. And Mofford makes his way to 12th place, ahead of Smiley. And yep, Shedden has been given a black and red flag for car damage. And we start lap 11, and Tom Ingram is just 3 tenths behind Ash Sutton, the race leader. Oh, and that's Adam Morgan with a horrible tyre puncture, and he's gonna drop to the back. Ingram is hungry. He's and it looks like Tom Ingram's Hyundai is pretty good on tyres, so thank you for the like. Oh, and that was Josh Cook whacking himself into the tyres at the last chicane. And the safety car has come out on track, folks. There's too much debris on the track. And Camish is... Well, what's happened to Camish? He's dropped down to 9th place. And yeah, that's the end of Adam Morgan's race. Gordon Shedden go and pit now, mate. And that's why Dan Camish has dropped down the order. He's got a puncher. What a shame for the pole sitter who... I'm not sure would he be able to score points. It's going to be a tough ask. I don't know what happened to Camish. Chilton, Cork. Oh, wow, that was stupid, to be honest. Very nice reversal move there at the start by Ash Sutton and his teammate. Now Camish comes out, down in 19th place. What a shame. That's Gordon Shedden, having now served his pit stop for repairs, down in 20th place. Pearson, well, I don't know what's going on with Pearson. I mean, he's in 4th place, but surely, shouldn't he be serving a penalty for an incorrect grid slot? Oh, we've still got the safety car out. I hope you're all doing well in the chat. I don't know why we still got the safety car out. I think they're still trying to repair that tyre barrier that got dislodged in the final chicane. Dan Camish is going to be absolutely fuming, to be honest. And so is Gordon Shedden. And De Leon is now in 10th place. What a race he's having. In the BMW, no less. Car number 2. What a race that young 20-year-old is having today. just so you know, a lot of these cars are using sequential gear shifts, unlike on the sort of, what was it, semi-automatic panel gear shifts that you get in most racing cars. Although you can shift without the clutch, a clutch on the floor to do it. So, and I think these cars have got about 330 brake horsepower now. So I think they're now actually a bit. These cars are now quicker than what we had in the 1990s of Super Touring rigs. My God, we've had the safety car out for 4 laps, and I'm thinking, are they going to add laps on? The safety car has withdrawn. It's green flag racing again. Sutton slows the field down. Is he gonna go? Come on. Oh, there's someone off the track. What's going on there? Is that Craze that's gone off? My God, what the hell's going off before even the restart? And yeah, we've got 3 laps extended added on, so what's it? We've now got 21 laps instead of 18. Oh wow, there's a huge gaggle down the pack. God. Oh, road bottom's been shoved off the track and he's in the barriers. Can he say no? But no, it's Rainford that's been shoved off in a BMW. I beg your pardon. And Josh Hill makes his way into 5th place ahead of Chilton. Rainford's down to 18th after that excursion. And De Leon drops down to 10th place, overtaken by Aidan Moffat, who takes 9th. Ingram just within a couple of tenths of Sutton. There's so much action down the pack, though. They're getting really aggressive down there. Dan Lloyd, Smiley, Hall, to name others, are absolutely scrapping for one of the smaller points finishers in the top 15. Sutton doing a great job of holding his nerve. He's using the boost, but so is Ingram. Sutton is so good at defending, by the way. We've got four laps to go, folks. My God, Robot has made his way up to 3rd place. Oh, we've got RG Borgi going to go with Cook and Dudley. And I think Cook's damaged his rear bumper with his exhaust tanking off Josh Cook's car. And Dorlin is off the road. He's in the gravel and his day is probably done. He's beached that Toyota. Oh, and Josh Cook has got damage. Cook has got damage. He is squirming. He's weaving like crazy. His car has got damage. You can see his car squirming through the corners. Double, sorry, I keep getting his name wrong. Double is all over his bumper. Josh Cook's black and gold Honda is holding on to 7th, however, but he has got real damage on his bumper. I can only presume that's Double's car is a Vauxhall. I can't tell by the badge, but it's been a long time since Vauxhall dominated this series. Are there any F1 drivers in DTM? Yes, there's what's his name? Timo Glock. I know there's been a few former test drivers like Miko Bortolotti, who used to be a test driver for Ferrari and actually won the DTM championship last year. There's also former Jack Aiken, who did a race for Williams, and of course Adrian Miney, who used to race in Formula 2 driving a Ford Mustang. But I'm watching this BTCC race. Camish has made his way up to 11th place. He's flying. He's got the tyres warmed up. He's doing damage limitation for the Napa Ford team, whilst his teammate continues to hold off an insurgent Tom Ingram, who's driving a Hyundai. Looks like Camish desperate to claw back points. He's all over the back of young Daryl Leon's BMW. But Smiley wants a piece of Camish. Sutton, Ingram still 1-2 up front. Sutton keeping his nerve under pressure, but he knows what he's got a lot of experience leading races, so this is no problem for the quadruple BTCC champion. And just so you know, obviously, they are restricted to a limited allocation of medium and soft tyres across the 3 races they will do today. And of course, weight ballast will be used. Double overtakes Cook for 7th, finally. And Ingram is all over the rear bumper of Sutton on the final lap. This is a chess match between Sutton and Ingram. Sutton is using the boost. I wonder how much boost Sutton and Ingram got left. Of course, if you do use boost, you are obviously eating into your fuel allocation, so got to be careful with that. Ingram is waiting like a silent assassin. They overtake the lap car. Ingram couldn't take advantage of the lap car. In front of them, Sutton will take the race win, and he flashes his light for the first race win of the season. Ash Sutton, quadruple British Touring Car champion, wins the first race at Donington Park ahead of 2022 champion Ingram. Road Bottom will take 3rd. Oh, what the hell is going on there? Someone's gone off the track. Oh my God! I don't know what happened, but Hill takes 4th. Amazing performance. 5th is Chilton, 6th is Double, 7th is Cook, 8th is Camish. What a drive he had in the last 6 laps to claw back all those points. Well, of course, feel a bit sorry for Camish with that tyre puncher, but Dan, why the hell do I keep thinking his name is Dan Ash Sutton? So cool under pressure, had Ingram all over his rear bumper the whole race, and he did not make a single mistake at any point, unlike so many drivers behind him. Well done, young man. Well done. What a performance. And, you know, you can tell why the guy is a four-time champion at this level. Chilton, it's not Max Chilton, it's Tom Chilton, his older brother Tom Chilton, who has been racing in the British touring cars since 2002. And by the way, I think Tom Chilton is now 40 years old. He's 6 years older than his brother Max, by the way. So, yeah, unlike Max Chilton, Tom chose to go straight into touring cars instead of doing any junior Formula racing. I mean, as for his younger brother Max, Max Chilton actually retired from motor racing 5 years ago, if you didn't know. So, and Daryl De Leon dropped to 16th after all that gaggle of cars on him. So, blimey, in a race where he was actually driving quite well, he ends up with no points. What a shame. And Aidan Moffat, well, it took 9th place after being overtaken by Dan Camish on the final lap. I don't know why I'm getting so many people watching now, because yeah, Grosjean has gone to him. Roberto Murray. Oh yeah, I remember his F1 season. He did like a part-time campaign in a Formula Renault World Series at the same time, but I don't know, because he didn't complete the full F1 season, he was able to return to Formula 2. Don't know what sort of career move was that. I mean, by the way, he was actually outpacing Will Stevens most of that year, but the guy just, I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, I know there was a tweet he put out 10 years ago where he attacked Kimi Raikkonen, but it was like, I don't know what the hell was going on in that guy's head during his time in F1. Thank you for 2 likes. And yes, I will read out the order again. Ash Sutton, 4-time champion in the Ford Focus Napa, wins the opening race of 2025 ahead of Tom Ingram. Dan Rowbottom takes 3rd for Ford. Josh Hill, Indy BMW, takes 4th. I want to know what happened to Pearson. Pearson finishes down in 13th because of his penalty. Obviously, he drove a good race, but because he took the incorrect grid slot on the grid, he drops from 4th to 13th. Veteran Tom Chilton, older brother of Max, takes 5th. Double takes 6th in the highest ranked Vauxhall. Of course, Vauxhall used to dominate British touring cars 20 odd years ago. I don't know. I don't think it's a good time to talk about Roberto Murray. To be honest, I think I might have to do a separate stream after this race to talk about F1, because Cook, despite rear bumper damage, takes 7th in the Honda Civic. 8th is Dan Camish, the poor sitter, who suffered a tyre puncture before the safety car. 9th, Aidan Moffat, who drove a good race in the BMW to get up the order. 10th, Smiley. And then the rest of the point scorers, I don't know what Pat's full name is, but he takes 11th in the Seat Cupra Leon. Lloyd takes 12th. Pearson, 13th, penalty. 14th is Hall. And of course, the last point scorer is Osborne in the other Ford Focus. And just so you know, Nicholas Hamilton finished last. Obviously, we know who his older brother is. We don't need to go through that one. Stephen Jenny and the Cheddar also had problems throughout the race. Creased also suffered damage. Rainford went off the road but finished on the lead lap. De Leon will be kicking himself for dropping straight down from 9th to 16th in the final 2 laps. He was on course for a top 10 finish. What a drive he'd actually pull in until I presume he got hit by someone late on, but that was because he was holding up a few cars towards the end of the race. I don't know what I'm going to do today. Does anyone want me to do a stream for Nottingham Forest and Man City? Because obviously, I don't know. If I watch that game, that will probably turn into something of a hate watch, to be honest, against the team in red. Okay, Kiefer. Okay, well, I'm asking what's their names, John Cartier and Say, not you. So I know you don't have any interest because I've never seen you appear on my Crystal Encore channel. So fair enough. I don't know what time race 2 is on for BTCC because they do tend to spread out their starting times quite wide open. I think obviously race 1 started at 12 o'clock. I think race 2 might start about 3 o'clock UK time, obviously, and race 3 usually starts very late on at about somewhere between like 5:30 to 6 o'clock. And they also have a lot of support races spread in between. I presume you've got Viking later on today, so I mean, to just say your schedule is packed. Well, thankfully for me, Derby County, oh, well, I'm not saying they're safe from relegation, but I have to say, since they're only 1 point above Hull, but with Preston Luton also in trouble, I think, and with Derby playing Stoke next weekend, who are also in a fight for relegation, I think I'm feeling a lot more hopeful than I've done for probably the past 3 months, to be honest. But yeah, the reigning champion, I'm trying to think, who's the reigning champion? Was it? Yeah, Josh Hill finishes 4th. Yeah, how can I forget? It's so weird. I mean, back in the day, there used to be drivers like Matt Neal, Jason Plato, and I'm trying to think, Colin Turkington used to be on the grid. Now, obviously, Plato and Neal have retired due to the fact they're nearly 60 years old, but Colin Turkington, I think, is only like, I don't know, 43 years old, and yet he's no longer there, which is a bit strange considering this is only touring cars. I can only presume Colin Turkington has gone off to World Touring Cars or something fancier. I think Gordon Shedden also did a stint in World Touring Cars a decade ago as well, so Gordon Shedden is now the oldest driver at 45 years old, driving for the Toyota Gazoo team, but of course, due to his incident-packed race, he finished down in 19th. Sorry. Yeah, half free. Thanks for telling me that. I don't know. I mean, weirdly enough, I think obviously on a Sunday they don't do as many football matches due to whatever, and due to the fact that obviously they always prioritise trying to do games on Saturday. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think the DTM race is going on, so obviously because they cater for the Germans and Europeans, they're not going to really take much notice of what's going on with BTCC, so I'm not going to do any live stream for that. And to be honest, and I really hate to say it, I found yesterday's DTM race to be extremely dull and boring to watch. Honestly, not even a pit stops jazzed it up as much as I was hoping it would do. It honestly just felt like a Formula 1 race with, like, GT cars being used, to be honest, unfortunately. Maybe I might come back in time at about, I don't know, 3:20 to do touring cars again, but, you know, having not actually done any F1 streaming, I might do an F1 stream in about an hour or two time, or maybe tomorrow on a Monday when there's no sporting action on. Sorry. IMSA and WEC rather than DTM. Oh, it's your time, okay. Free, okay, so, oh yeah, because you're, what's it, Norway and Europe is an hour ahead. Okay, so apologies for that, so that's presumably more like 2:30, but... Yeah, sorry, I'm getting confused, but... Oh, God, I've not watched BTCC properly for like 2 or 3 years now, to be honest. It's a bit... I keep forgetting what times they do everything now. I'm not... Yeah, I mean, the problem with WEC and IMSA is that I don't know, I don't have any, like, access to any live feeds for that, and the other thing is obviously the races go on for at least 5 to 6 hours, so I don't really know how to do commentary for that, and I think my voice would drop off horribly. Like, I can barely do live streams for more than 2 hours, so... Bit of a shame for Dan Camish. And, what was it? What happened yesterday's DTM race? I think, what was his name? Yeah, I think, what was his name? Lucas Ensler got that penalty, really weird penalty, but he ended up finishing like 10th. But to be honest, not a very memorable race, that DTM event. I don't know. I mean, the problem with the football is that we also have a problem with that the Premier League title race and the relegation battles are all but done. Obviously, the bottom three have been relegated in record time. Southampton have only just finally reached Derby County's points total of 11 points from either 17 years ago, which Considering how much money Southampton has spent, it's an absolute disaster class from the boys down south. I'm sorry, Roxford. I don't want to slag your club off if you're watching. I honestly think Southampton's 24 to 25 season is going to go down as even worse than Derby's 07 to 08 season, because people actually expected Southampton to do well this season and, well, not do well, but at least score like 20 points, which is still doing badly, but yeah, I mean, it really is a disaster class from Southampton, even if they get past 11 points. Funnily enough, I mean, the Championship, the European Cups, the FA Cup and the League Cup have been far more entertaining this season. I mean, it's just the gap between the big boys and the smaller clubs is really grown now, and it's a bit worrying to say the least. Having said that, though, fortunately in F1 we've got a decent title race going on between Oscar Piastri, Norris, Verstappen, and even George Russell. Russell has been ultra consistent this season. I've got to say, well done to him. What else is there to say? Sorry. Nothing. What else was I going to say? Yeah, Charles Leclerc did a great job last weekend, but sorry. Pochettino, yeah, well, I don't know, mate. You know, these things can happen in football where, like, if you don't replace managers and players properly, you will pay the price. I mean, they don't even have the excuse of not having money because they spent 100 million in the transfer market over the summer, last summer, and I think right now it's really hard to get your hands on like top quality young players nowadays because they always seem to be so keen on running off to like the big six nowadays, and all the big European clubs abroad like Munich, Barca, Madrid, Juventus, PSG. It's just, you know, the back 20 years ago, you used to see loads of promising talents like Berbatov, like doing apprenticeship at like, I don't know, Bayer Leverkusen, and back before they were a top team, he went to Tottenham before finally making a step up to Man United when they were fighting for titles. Nowadays, it's like, you know, Jude went off to Dortmund when he was just 17 years old. Similar story for... Okay. What was it? Similar story for Vinny and Mbappe. Just... You don't really see them do much of an apprentice anymore at like mid-table and relegation fighting clubs anymore. It's just meh. And there's what's his name? Joe Bellingham at Sunderland, who's probably going to leave the club along with Chris Rigg at some point in the future, even though they're not even 20 years old yet. I think the same thing can be said with F1 because, you know, Kimi Antonelli's already 18 years old and yet he's got a Mercedes team. And to be honest, he's probably spent his whole career at a top team anyway. So he's already skipped the apprenticeship bit in F1 if we're going to be brutally honest, because just simply, I think Mercedes just... All right. What else was I going to say? Max Verstappen went to Toro Rosso at 17 and joined the Red Bull Senior Squad at 18. Charles Leclerc started his career at Sauber at 20 and then joined Ferrari a year later at 21 years old. And, well, I mean, to be fair to George Russell, he spent 3 years at Williams. How old was he when he joined Mercedes when he was 24, but of course, when you exclude that one-off appearance at Bahrain a couple of years earlier, since, well, that was just a sub-performance, a sub-appearance, I beg your pardon. Oh, yeah, I saw that video about Oscar Piastri reinventing the Schumacher way of driving, but of course, I think what they mean that he's adapted Schumacher's driving for, like, the modern hybrid era, because obviously you can't throw the car into the corner like you used to anymore because you've got the bigger tires on the cars. The slip angle is a lot narrower now because the cars are 2 meters wide instead of just 1.8 meters wide when you had the V10s in the sport. Don't know what's happened, but 0 people. What's going on with that? Obviously, I know my audience is such a mix around here. Obviously, I used to be so enthusiastic about watching, was it BTCC, MotoGP, IndyCar when I was much younger. Obviously, I've not kept in touch with those series in recent years because the expansion of the F1 calendar means that every time I'm done watching an F1 race these days, I'm just kind of a bit meh. I just don't feel that enthusiastic to watch another car racing series later on in the day. And of course, back when I started watching F1, there was only 17 to 18 races per season, so it actually left me a lot of free time to watch other series like, NASCAR once in a while, maybe even Aussie supercars. But now I just feel like I mean, all my energy having been sucked into this F1 social media channel on YouTube and Twitter just means that I don't really have time for it. I don't, but of course, it also does take a lot of energy to have to, constantly comment and think of ideas to say about certain drivers and teams after races, during races, before races. And of course, I've also got my second channel, which focuses more on football and just talking about anything else I want to talk about. Obviously, I think, I was pretty happy yesterday when, after nearly falling asleep, Derby actually scored a winner against Hull. Oh, yes, and Monaco always collides with the Indy 500. That's so annoying. That annoys me so much. Like, why does the Indy 500 have to be on the same name as Monaco? Like, really, mate? Like, oh. I think the last time those two races actually were held on a different day was back in 2003 when, I think, Monaco got pushed back to the start of June, surprisingly enough, which I think it's the latest I've ever seen Monaco get held. I remember Ralf Schumacher took pole position, but ended up finishing 4th in the race, and Juan Pablo Montoya took the race win ahead of Kimi Räikkönen and Michael Schumacher after a brilliant pit stop by the Williams team. Kimi finished second at least 7 or 8 times during 2003. But of course, back then we had the new point system of 10 points for first, 8 for second, and 6 for third. Points down to 8th place, which, funnily enough, actually costed Jordan, who, of course, Eddie Jordan, rest in peace, was the guy who suggested a new point system. Had the old point system stayed in place, which was points down to 6th place, Jordan would have finished 5th in 2003, but thanks to, of course, taking a race win at Brazil with Giancarlo Fisichella in what would be Jordan's final race win in F1, but instead, with the new point system, they dropped down to 9th place out of 10 teams. Yeah, absolutely sad news, obviously, hearing about Eddie Jordan's passing. I think we've mentioned it many times now on this channel. He really was a huge part of my childhood growing up, I will say that, okay? Seeing those distinctive bright yellow fluorescent yellow Jordans on the grid, looking like a pair of racing bananas, bringing so much joy and humour at the back of the grid when they were around. Of course, these days, they've been morphed into many different teams. Midland, what a dreadful name. Spiker, a bright orange car. Force India with Rejay Mania painting the cars all sorts of weird colours, you know, white, green, red, orange. And then, of course, later on, repainting the cars, I don't know, black and silver. And then, of course, painting it bright pink thanks to BWT. Before, of course, Papa Stroll bought the team, and now the team has gone back to, funnily enough, it's gone back to being dark green again, just like Jordan's original colours in 1991, when they had Pepsi and some Irish company sponsored them back in 1991. But of course, we all know the green is for Aston Martin more than anything else, rather than anything Irish or anything as such. Think back as a kid, I know what's in the British Touring Car Series used to be, especially during the 90s, one of the biggest and most famous racing car series, with the likes of, what's his name, Derek Warwick racing there, Nigel Mansell making a couple of star appearances, lots of big European names coming over, like Laurent Aiello for Nissan, Frank Bieler driving for Audi and their four-wheel drive Quattro, which of course got, well, given a weight penalty to counteract how effective the four-wheel drive system was. There was Rickard Rydell driving a Volvo estate car. There was Gabriel Tarquini and his amazingly fast Alfa Romeo with its what was then a revolutionary splitter system, producing an insane amount of downforce for what the cars had at the time. And then around 2001, obviously, after Ford Mondale dominated the series in 2000 Valentine menu, they brought in the BTC regulations, which then turned British touring cars into something of a national series with. There were still a few decent foreigners who came in, like Fabrizio Giovanardi or Giovanardi, Jovan Muller, who actually raced there for a decade, and I can't remember who else. I think there were a couple other foreign drivers there, but yeah, I've got to say, since like the late 2000s, I have to say, the British Touring Car Series has seriously downgraded in prestige and recognition around the world and in Europe now. Having said that, though, I mean, France's old Touring Car Series has just basically disappeared. Italy's Touring Car Series is just basically now just an amateur series. I think Spain once had a Touring Car Series 2 decades ago, but that's just shut down. So the only ones that I think still remain are the British Touring Car, even though it's semi-pro, the German series in the DTM. Sorry. What else? Sorry. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry about this. Yeah, my chat broke, and now I've got someone else's phone to say Lando has a U-shaped driving style, and Max and Oscar use a V-shape. That's really weird to think of, because Lando does have a similar driving style to Kimi Raikkonen, but unlike Kimi Raikkonen, Lando Norris could get a grip of his own emotions and his general race management. I mean, arguably, Lando is quicker over one lap than what Kimi Raikkonen was in his peak, but there's no use being that good over a qualifying lap if you have terrible race management. Yeah, obviously the 500 is more exciting than Monaco. Like, there's no prizes for saying that, mate. I think you know why they do the Indy 500 on the same weekend as Monaco. I mean, one is because obviously it's a Memorial Day weekend, which is the end of May, but also because I think they know deep down there's no chance that the Formula One Grand Prix at Monaco will ever have a more exciting race than what Indy usually has on that weekend. Apart from one exception, which was, of course, the notorious 1996 season where Olivier Panis took the win from 14th place on the grid with only 4 cars finishing. And, of course, the IndyCar series split into 2 competitions. The Indy Racing League, aka the notorious IRL, which was set up by the idiot grandson, Tony George, and of course, the former Kart series, which was at the time seen as the main actual IndyCar championship series. But of course, as we all know, that division and the split of the series completely ruined the sport from a commercial point of view, and that's why NASCAR is the biggest American racing series, even though I absolutely despise NASCAR, to be honest. The Volvos were tanks, you were correct. But that's why they were popular with fans, because obviously seeing the Volvo estates trying to go around a track at 140 miles an hour was quite a unique spectacle, which only touring cars could produce in the 90s. Obviously, Volvo then later switched to a more sensible saloon car setup. And then, of course, later on, they all ended up turning into hatchbacks because they realised that a smaller car design was more, well, could not only generate cars that could go quick in a straight line, but also, more importantly, carry a lot of cornering speed with a shorter wheelbase and all that. Yeah, you know what? I think I've had enough talking, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.